Hello, guys. I'm your host, Charlene, and welcome to today's episode Empathy Development from In Utero to Childhood. So, I feel like as you grow up, you sort of have time to reflect on how your relationship to your parents has affected you. And I'm here to inform you that there's even more that you may not have known. So, that's exciting. And most importantly, that the role and the relationship that you have with your parents playing a very, very, very significant role in how you develop empathy as a child and continue to empathize with people as you grow up. So if your parents didn't treat you well, you might have turned out, as a psychopath, and that's honestly not great. I'm sorry for you. Parental empathy plays a large role in child attachment development, which in turn significantly affects childhood empathy. It has been shown that children who experience sensitive caregiving develop a secure model of relationships, and those who experience the opposite are at greater risk for psychopathy and developing insecure relationship models. Children model their own emotional and behavioral responses to others after what is initially sort of modeled to them from their caregivers. And it has been found that childhood history of responsive caregiving, again, correlates with secure internal working models of self in adulthood, increased empathy to others, distress, and better regulation of emotion. So again, all of these things, as I talked about in the introduction, are important, building blocks for developing empathy, a healthy form of empathy in the future. So these differences are accounted for in differential brain structures that affect the formation of empathy reactions. So the brain structures that I mentioned in the intro are differentially developed, and this is, somewhat due to neuroplasticity. If those areas are not being utilized as much, then they will develop differently. Similarly, the hormone oxytocin has proven to be crucial to the initiation of empathic behavior in caregivers with securely attached mothers displaying higher peripheral oxytocin. Let me just go back and sort of define what oxytocin does and sort of why it's important. So oxytocin is a neurotransmitter that induces maternal attachment, decreases anxiety and fear, and facilitates bonding between individuals in mammalian species. It's also sort of known as the love hormone, and it's very important to motherhood. Oxytocin plays a crucial part in empathy development and influences the brain regions responsible for mentalization or theory of mind, emotion, and cognitive control in the amygdala, striatum, prefrontal cortex, and a number of other areas. So just to return to mothers specifically, in a different study, it was shown that mothers who had a higher self-reported empathic concern level in the IRI test that I mentioned in the introduction, there was a lower associated risk for child abuse and fewer symptoms of psychopathy within their children. At the most fundamental level, parents affect the development of empathy within children, with genetic influences contributing to 25 to 30% of variance in empathy, with effective empathy being more heritable than cognitive empathy. Additionally, patterns of DNA methylation are also established very early in the fetus's development and cause variation in gene expression. So DNA methylation is just that. It causes variation in gene expression by, sort of editing the gene, not directly on the DNA, but kind of above the DNA. I don't really know if that makes sense, but I'm not a biochemistry major or a bio major. I should know this stuff, but I simply do not remember. Anyway, back to parents and attachment thing. Attachment patterns can activate these genes in different ways, and there has been significant research suggesting the association between epigenetics and childhood attachment processes. Additionally, maternal stress specifically plays a large role in the development of the fetus and may impact the activation of certain genes similar to attachment style. It has shown to be a major risk factor in the development of psychopathy characterized by lack of empathy. Again, maternal care is regulated by the release of oxytocin and the stress/reward neural system. Post utero, a different study looked at attachment styles with mothers specifically and children, and the results of the study suggested that insecure mothers may lack the ability to sufficiently mentalize or use theory of mind with the infant, which ultimately will impact the child's ability to empathize with others and form secure relationships in the future. So I just hope all of you guys had very secure moms and great attachment to your parents, because I think empathy is super important. So anyway, moving on to infancy, it might surprise you that those weird little pale things that come out of a mother's womb have empathic abilities too, literally within those first couple of hours. It's really weird. But anyway, empathy in early infancy and toddlerhood has been linked to later prosociality, knowledge about emotions, peer acceptance, and obviously a greater empathic ability. It has been proposed that the ability to empathize with others begins when an infant is 18 hours old, with responses to others' distress being measured, and it continues to expand as the child grows up. In one study, it was found that newborns between the age of 1 to 5 days old responded more to fearful and angry syllables with higher ERP activity amplitudes. And that's just a way to measure, ERP is just a way to measure brain activity. Our study proved the same thing for infants 0 to 6 days old. Furthermore, infants 3 to 7 months old were able to distinguish sad vocalizations utilizing their insula and orbitofrontal cortex, indicating that this emotional discrimination ability develops early provides a basis for more complex social learning abilities. These results taken together suggest that newborns are responsive to specific suffering of children, specifically the same age children, and that this form of emotional contagion is one of the earliest expressions of empathy development. Now, I just want to pause here because I think that's so crazy, so insane, because babies can't even see for it. They can't really do anything. And it's just really interesting that they're able to do, they can't even, I don't know, it's just so cool to me that they're able to utilize that skill and, develop empathy that early, or at least the basic sort of building blocks to empathy that early. And then your parents' attachment style may or may not ruin it after. That's kind of sad. But hey, by 7 months, infants are able to reliably infer emotional states of other individuals from their facial patterns and voice. And as they develop further, they are more in tune with subtle emotional changes, indicated by studies shown that 9 months old display activity in the right superior temporal sulcus in response to minor pupillary changes in others. Infants as young as 12 months old or a year old begin to comfort others in distress. When you see a kid on the playground and they're patting their friend's back or being nice to them, basic thing. And then, I guess kids on the playground aren't a year old, but you know what I mean. Children ages 14 to 18 months old display unrewarding spontaneous helping behaviors. So that basically means that they displayed helping behaviors such as helping a child up that fell without being told good job, and without being told to do it in the first place. And then even further, from 18 to 25 months old, they demonstrate inclination to sympathize with others in dismay, even in the absence of overt emotional cues from the other person, which is a clear marker for effective perspective taking and prosocial behavior. In this same time frame, toddlers displayed comforting actions towards other children in distress, such as hugging, touching, and overall concern to help others. So childhood is possibly the most prominent time for empathy development due to the growth and maturation of neural areas associated with empathy, and overall, a plethora of neural areas. And that's also when I feel there's the most neuroplasticity occurring. That's why it's easiest for kids to pick up languages at that time. Cognitive empathy develops later than affective empathy because it's related to the development of executive functioning, as well as theory of mind. And theory of mind typically develops around the ages 3 to 4. After that, from ages 4 to 12, it was shown in a study that there was significant development of executive function and theory of mind correlating to growth of the medial prefrontal cortex, the temporal parietal junction, and the inferior prefrontal cortex. These developments happen in conjunction with increased socialization, as well as necessity to help others and comfort others in various situations. So that was just sort of a really, really brief overview of how all of that sort of develops as a child. So now let's welcome our guests. Start recording now. But I'll tell you guys what empathy is, just a general definition. And then I'm going to ask you some questions about it, okay? Mm-hmm. So empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. Does that make sense?
I think I heard my dad and mom say something about empathy.
Oh, what did they say?
I don't know. I forgot.
Okay. Do you guys have any examples that you can think of right now of what empathy might be?
Feel someone's pain?
Mm-hmm. That's a good one, yeah. That's a good one. What about you?
Beating someone up?
No, that's the opposite of empathy. No. No, beating someone up is not empathy. Empathy is kind of like kindness.
When my brother hears someone smaller than him, he usually says, I can beat them up.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
I don't know.
You just think because they're smaller? You can
Yeah,
beat
and I
them
want to
up?
beat them up.
You should beat up. You should become people who are, same size as you. Don't become people at all, but, if you are, you have to be the same size as you, But it's not good to become people, so don't do that, okay? Okay. So you were saying you heard your parents talking about something like empathy?
Yeah.
Have your parents taught you anything about empathy? Like, if, for example, one of your classmates is sad, have they ever been like, you have to try and help them out or comfort them?
Yeah.
Yeah? Anything else that they've taught you?
When like your friend has a dog and then they run away and you have no dog at home, you can feel their pain.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about you?
Like a baby falls down into a pool and then you save the baby.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Or you just drop the baby in something harder.
Yeah, that's the opposite of empathy. That is not the same thing. But, the first example is a great example. So thank you so much for that one. Do you think that babies are able to think about empathy?
No.
No, right? They're too young, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you guys have any examples of when you felt empathy, either for like each other? Because I have siblings too. I have an older brother and he's like 3 years older than me, like you guys. And then I have 2 older siblings. And I always felt like, I felt like I would be able to try and comfort them. Most of the time it would be them comforting me because I was the younger sibling, I was the baby. But, I would always try and comfort them if they were ever going through something. Do you guys ever feel like that? Or with your friends? Or if you guys have animals. You guys don't have pets now, right?
No more. They died when I was 2 years old.
Oh, what did you guys have?
We have I think a Labrador Retriever. It was like a golden retriever.
Oh.
And then we had like 2 bunnies.
Really?
Labrador Retriever passed away when I was just born.
Wow. That is so sad. I'm sorry, guys. But did you guys ever feel like empathy for the Labrador or for your friends or for each other?
The Labrador comforted me and he let me ride on him.
Really?
But it wouldn't move.
Okay, what about for your friends? Anything for your friends?
Oh, no.
No? What about you? No? What about for each other? Has, ever cried and had to comfort him?
Always mad, and I try to comfort him, and he just gets madder at me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that's still good. You're showing him empathy. You're trying to, understand what he's going through, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you ever do that for...
Nope, he never does that.
Yeah, once when he was playing a game and he said, if I can't beat this level, I'll bet you $10. And then his eyes was stinking, and I said, just don't do it. And then my brother said, a bet is a bet.
Oh, I see. Well, it's good that you guys try and help each other out. That's what siblings are for.
When he doesn't help me.
Well, maybe when he gets older, he'll try and help you more. You think so?
Tomorrow's my birthday.
Really? How old are you turning?
7.
Oh, happy birthday. What are you guys gonna do? Or did you guys celebrate today?
We celebrated at a birthday party yesterday.
Oh, that's so much fun. Did you guys have your friends come?
Yeah.
What did you guys do?
Parkour, yeah.
Oh, that is so cool. Okay. And then tomorrow you're gonna bring... You guys bring cupcakes or cookies for your classroom or no?
They already got goodie bag.
Okay. Yesterday at the parkour thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay. So, back to the questions. Do you think any of your... Because you're 9, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And you're 7, so you're in 3rd grade?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think any of your classmates show empathy, like when the teacher's talking about something, or if another student is going through something?
No, that doesn't happen.
Really?
Well, Liam, when I'm playing handball, he always comforts me.
Oh, that's so nice. What happens during handball? Do you guys get hurt a lot, or what?
No, I cry usually.
Why?
I don't know, because people are being mean and making the rules unfair.
Oh,
His
so then,
friends sometimes do that.
okay. So then your friend Liam comforts you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
He never leaves me.
That's so nice. Is he your best friend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of them.
Okay. Do your other best friends do that or no?
Only Liam, probably.
Okay.
They usually leave me.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about, do your classmates show empathy?
No.
No, not really. Okay, that makes sense.
They don't comfort him when he eats.
Really?
Yeah.
They just leave.
Wow. Huh. Do you think that between the boys and the girls in your classroom, which ones are more comforting? Neither?
The girls and boys
Really?
are comforting
Okay.
because there's one girl and one boy that comforts me.
Oh, that's so nice. Okay, that's good that it's even. But for you, you said it's just the girls, right? That are more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I have best friends that are girls.
Oh, that's so nice.
And there's a girl that has a crush on.
Really? How does
Yeah.
that make you feel?
I'm kind of embarrassed.
Well, that makes sense. Did you tell your parents or no?
Yeah, I did probably. Yeah.
What did they say?
I don't know.
I forgot.
Okay. So, I'm gonna give you guys an example scenario. And I want you guys to tell me how it would make you feel. So let's say one of your friends was upset because they found out that their pet hamster died the day before. How would that make you feel?
Sad.
It would make you feel sad. What would you do to try and help them?
Try and comfort them and make them happy.
Yeah. What about you?
If their pet hamster died, I don't know. I'll share some food with them.
That's great. People like food, huh?
Yeah, they always ask me for food.
Really? Do you have the best snacks? Is that why?
Oh no. At lunch when I have Oreos, Lunchables, a lot of my friends can have a piece of the Oreo and I just give them some.
That's so good. You're sharing. Do you share too?
Yeah.
That's great. That's nice.
I always share for some reason.
Yeah. So you
Kinda, it's getting annoying.
Is it getting too annoying?
Yeah. It's to not share food.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Because there's germs on your food and your parents packed it.
It's also true. And because people have allergies too sometimes. You don't know about.
There's someone in my class that has a nut allergy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a hard one to have.
Somebody that's kind of my friend named Craig.
Uh-huh.
He has a nut allergy because once he had one nut and then he had to go to the hospital.
Oh no, that is so sad. How did you feel about that when that happened to Craig? Did it happen while you guys were in class or no?
No, it was like when he was like in TK.
Okay. So did you feel bad for him?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were saying it's getting annoying to share all the time, right? Is it because people ask you too much?
Yep, and they probably and a lot of and everybody when they come to me, they literally all ask for yes.
Everybody? So then do you have any left for yourself?
Yeah, a lot. So
Okay. Okay. So you guys have any other examples of empathy you can think of? Or any ways you can think of using empathy in your life?
no.
No? What about you?
One of my friends, his fish died a long time ago.
Okay. So you use it then? Right? Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Well, you guys did a great job answering all the questions. Those are all the questions I had for you guys. You guys have anything else you want to say? Any other stories you want to share? I like your Crocs.
Thank you.
What's the word that it's like empathy,
Uh-huh.
but the front is just changed to like a C. Or
Sympathy?
Yeah.
Sympathy is spelled S-Y-M. Empathy. But it's like empathy. In fact, part of empathy is sympathy, if that makes sense. But empathy is a little bit more complicated. So like empathy is like, let's say your friend gets hurt playing on the playground, and then you feel like you're also in pain, and then you go and comfort them as well. Sympathy is more like you see your friend in pain and you like feel bad for them, but that's it. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So empathy is a little bit more complicated. I think honestly, the older you get, the more useful it'll be in your life. But yeah, hopefully your classmates will use it more too. And thank you guys so much for answering. And you already said you use it a lot with your sibling, which is great. And hopefully you'll use it with you too when you guys get older.
You will never.
So thank you guys so much for answering. Any other questions that you have?
No.
Any stories?
No.
No. Okay. Thank you guys so much. You guys did a great job.
I just want to say thank you so much to the 6-year-old and 9-year-old that I interviewed. They were honestly a joy to interview. And as a future, hopefully, pediatrician, gave me practice talking to children, which is fun. They had some really interesting perspectives. So there were some very funny perspectives. I was more so surprised that the older one, the 9-year-old, didn't have as much to share, but children do get nervous when you're asking them these questions. However, it also does somewhat align with the literature, which emphasizes that empathy is a growing skill that they need to train as they gain more socialization and just training in different contexts of empathizing with people. However, the 9-year-old did talk about how people in his grade don't really show that much empathy. So did the 7-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old. But yeah, I think just the more experience they have with that and the more experience they have with using the language and learning what empathy actually is, the more they'll be able to talk about it. And yeah, I think they did a great job. And like I said, I think that this aligns with the literature think when I was a child, I probably would have said like the same exact things because I didn't know what empathy was. Yeah, thank you so much to them, and thank you to their parents for bringing them on like a Saturday afternoon to talk about this. And that was today's episode on empathy in childhood. And I hope you guys tune into the next episode.